All right, first off, we want to give all honor and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushua, by Hashem Kakodash. It's all honor and glory to the Most High God through His Son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ, and of course, the Holy Spirit, right? We back at it again with another Shabbat service, right? We continuing on in the series. Lord willing, we wrap it up this week. If not, through the Spirit, we'll continue on it next week, right? But we back in it with how to love your neighbor. I believe we got, let me see, right? I believe we got, what is that? We did exhort as a category for loving your neighbor. We did rebuke as a category for loving your neighbor. And I believe last week we did pray for as a category of loving your neighbor. Right? So we still got 3 categories left through the Spirit. These 3 categories, I don't think will take as long as the other ones. But if it does, it does. It's what Israel needs. So through the Spirit, we're gonna do this until we finish all 6 categories that we have. So the next category we're gonna move into is to pray for. Right? If you love your neighbor, you have to be praying for your neighbor. Right? You have to be sending up prayers for your neighbor constantly. Now, once again, I open it up the same way every week. I'm going to open it up the same way this week. Right? So we're going to go into the book of Mark, chapter 12.
Hey, it's a lot. We're going back into pray for?
Yeah, we haven't done pray for.
Yeah, last week.
No, last week I thought last week we did counsel.
No, we did pray for.
Salaki, hold on. No, I mean Salaki, you're right. We did pray for last week, so we're going into counsel this week. Salaki. Right, counsel. Right. So let me go into the book of Mark, chapter 12, to open up, like I said. Because brothers got to understand, right? This is how you love the Lord. This is the main commandments, man. It's the book of Mark, chapter 12, right? In verse number 29. And Yahushua answered him, the first of all commandments is, hear, O Israel, the Most High, our power, is one Lord. And thou shalt love the Most High, thy power, with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind, and with all thy strength. This is the first commandment. And the second is like, namely this, right? It's like, meaning, hey, they go together, right? Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. There is none other commandment greater than these. So these are the 2 great commandments. But what? They're unison. They're one and the same, right? You can't love the Most High and not love your neighbor. And a lot of people, they don't love their neighbor. They got jealousy in their heart. You can't be jealous of your neighbor. The Lord is not dealing with jealousy and envy and strife, right? You can't have jealousy inside your heart and say that you love your neighbor, right? It's the book of 1 John, chapter 4, right? And verse number 20. If a man say, I love the Most High, and hateth his brother, he is a liar, right? So if you open your mouth and you say that you love the Most High, yet you still hate your brother or your sister, then you are literally a liar, right? So it says what? For he that loveth not his brother, whom he have seen, how can he love the Most High, whom he have not seen? And this commandment we have heard from him, that he who loveth the Most High love his brother also. So you must love your brother also in order to love the Most High. So that's why it's so important that we go through these categories of how to apply the scriptures in order to love your brother, which is ultimately loving the Most High, right? So I'm gonna kick it off, right, with the book of 1 Kings, man. All right, we're gonna go to the book of 1 Kings. Salakia, 2 Kings is what I want. Right now, of course, this matter is a father and son, but it doesn't matter, right? It's still the same thing. You got to counsel your brother, you got to counsel your neighbor in order to have love towards him, right? It's the book of 2 Kings, right? Chapter Salakia, it's 1 Kings that I want. Bear with me. I'm going off. It's 1 Kings that I want. The book of 1 Kings, chapter 2, right? And verse number 2. Now the days, verse number 1. Now the days of David drew nigh that he should die. And he charged Solomon his son, saying, so him charging Solomon his son is literally him counseling Solomon, right? Now that's his son. But nonetheless, the matter doesn't change when dealing with your brothers. And you got to charge your brothers. You got to counsel your brothers, man. It says what? I go the way of all the earth. Be thou strong, therefore, and show thyself a man, and keep the charge of the Most High thy power, to walk in his ways, to keep his statutes and his commandments, and his judgments and his testimonies, as it is written in the law of Moses, that thou mayest prosper in all that thou doest, and whithersoever thou turnest, that the Most High may continue his word, which he spake concerning me, saying, if thy children take heed to their way, to walk before me in truth with all their heart and with all their soul, there shall not fail thee, said he, a man of the throne of Israel. Now, this is the key point. This is where he really goes further into counseling his son, right? First, he tells him, hey, keep the charge of the Most High, keep the commandments of the Most High. But the counsel gets deeper. It doesn't just stop there, right? It says what? Moreover, thou knowest also that Joab, the son of Zeruiah, did to me, and what he did to the two captains of the host of Israel, unto Abner the son of Ner, and unto Amasa the son of Jether, whom he slew, and shed the blood of war in peace, and put the blood of war upon his girdle that was about his loins, and his shoes that were on his feet. Do therefore according to thy wisdom, and let not the hoar head go down to the grave in peace, but show kindness unto the sons of Barzillai the Gileadite, and let them be of those that eat at thy table, for they came to me when I fled because of Absalom thy brother. And behold, thou hast with thee Shimei the son of Gerar, a Benjamite of Barhim, which cursed me with a grievous curse in the day when I went to Mahanaim. But he came down to meet me at Jordan, and I swear to him by the Most High, saying, I will not put thee to death with the sword. Now therefore, hold him not guiltless, for thou art a wise man, and knowest what thou oughtest to do unto him. But his hoar head bring thou down to the grave with blood. Right? So he's literally counseling his son on how to handle these matters. Right? He's literally giving him understanding on how to handle these matters. Yeah, he counseled him initially, telling him what? Hey, you got to kind of, you know what I'm saying? Hey, serve the Lord. Hey, you got to make sure you're keeping the commandments of the Most High. But he went into depth of certain matters and counseled them on how to handle these certain matters. Right? Let me get one more. I'm going to pass to the brother. Right? It's the book. Let me see where I want to keep it off at. I believe it's 17 on one. Come on, this is This is the book of Exodus, chapter 18 and verse 14. And when Moses' father-in-law saw all that he did to the people, he said, what is this thing that thou doest to the people? Why sittest thou thyself alone, and all the people stand by thee from the morning unto evening? And Moses said unto his father-in-law, because the people come unto me to inquire of the Most High. When they have a matter, they come unto me, and I judge between one and another, and I do make them know the statutes of the Most High and his laws. And Moses' father-in-law said unto him, the thing that thou doest is not good. Right? He's literally counseling Moses. He's giving him counsel. He's letting him know, hey, that's not a good thing. Hey, that's too much. Right? It says what? It's not a good. Verse 18, thou wilt surely wear away both thou and this people, that this with thee, for this thing is too heavy for thee. Thou art not able to perform it thyself alone. Hearken now unto my voice. I will give thee counsel, and the Most High shall be with thee. Be thou for the people to the Godward, that thou mayest bring the causes unto the Most High. And thou shalt teach them ordinances and laws, and thou shalt show them the way wherein they must walk, and work that they must do. Moreover, thou shalt provide out of all the people able men, such as fear the Most High, men of truth, hating covetousness, and place such over them to be rulers of thousands and rulers of hundreds, rulers of fifties and rulers of tens. And let them judge the people at all seasons. And it shall be that every great matter they shall bring unto thee, but every small matter they shall judge. So shall it be easier for thyself, and they shall bear the burden with thee. Right? So he counseled him to allow the men of Israel, right, that have understanding, that hate covetousness, right, to understand judgment, hey, to literally, hey, be set up as judges, that Moses don't wax away. They don't get burnt out, right? Because that was literally something that was going to happen. So, hey, he loved Moses. That was his son. That's his son-in-law, right? Hey, Jethro was a heathen, and he still counseled his son-in-law because he loved him. How much more so you with your brother? Hey, you with your sister. Hey, you got to counsel them on matters in order to help them to sustain in these last days, man. And with that, I yield and pass to the next brother.
All right, Con. When the brother brought out the kings with the counsel from within the family, that made me think about Tobit. So I'm gonna go to Tobit, but I'm gonna go to Tobit 4, and I'm gonna start at verse 5, but like a little brief description, like Tobit had already wished of his death from the Lord. So with him being a righteous and just man, he just knew that the Lord was going to give him what he asked for. So in that sense, he ended up, calling his son Tobias and giving him some wild counsel. I said wild, wise counsel on how to deal with life. So it's a lot on this, but I'm gonna get through it pretty quick. All right, Tobit 4 and 5. My son, be mindful of the Lord our God all thy days, and let not thy will be set to sin, or to transgress his commandments. Do uprightly all thy life long, and follow not the ways of unrighteousness. For if thou dare truly, thy doing shall prosperously succeed to thee, and to all them that live justly. Give alms of thy substance, and when thou givest alms, let not thy eye be envious, neither turn thy face from any poor, and the face of Yahweh shall not be turned away from thee. So thus far, already it's a lot more to read down on this, but it's like if you got ears to hear, like all this is wisdom coming out this man's mouth, trying to set his son on a straight and narrow before he passes, or before he feel like he has that faith enough that whatever he asks for is going to be given to him of the Lord. So verse 8, if thou hast abundance, give alms accordingly. If thou have but a little, be not afraid to give according to that little. For thou layest up a good treasure for thyself against the day of necessity, because that alms do deliver from death, and suffer not to come into darkness. For alms is a good gift unto all that give it in the sight of the Most High. Beware of all whoredom, my son, and chiefly take a wife of the seed of thy fathers, and take not a strange woman to wife, which is not of thy father's tribe, for we are the children of the prophets, Noah, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Remember, my son, that our fathers from the beginning, even that they all married wives of their own kindred, and were blessed in their children, and their seed shall inherit the land. So it's a lot. So I'm gonna just go and jump down on it. So I'm gonna go to verse 18, and it says, ask counsel of all that are wise, and despise not any counsel that is profitable. And that's wise counsel in itself. You know what I'm saying? From everything that he just said, because if I'm trying to talk to my son and I feel like I'm no longer going to be around, you know what I'm saying, I would expect him to do the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Attain unto counsel that is profitable, for your well-being in life. And of course, all that has to be rooted out of the book. Verse 19, bless the Lord thy God always, and desire of him that thy ways may direct it, which is something else that I would tell my son if, I was in that situation. And that all thy paths and counsels may prosper, for every nation hath not counsel, but the Lord himself giveth all good things, and he humbleth whom he will, as he will. Now therefore, my son, remember my commandments, neither let them be put out of thy mind. It takes no more really expounding on that, but I just got one more precept. It should be Proverbs 1 and 5. It says, a wise man will hear and will increase learning, and a man of understanding shall attain unto wise counsels, just like he told his son. To understand the proverb and the interpretation, the words of the wise and their dark sayings. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, because ultimately you fear the Lord, you're going to, obtain unto knowledge, get that understanding, you know what I'm saying, and be able to, it'll ultimately give you discernment to be able to see if somebody bringing you some folly or if they're speaking by the words of the Lord. It'll build up that discernment. And it says the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. So that's pretty plain, because me myself, when I was coming up, you know what I'm saying, like me not knowing the word and not having the fear of the Lord, didn't have knowledge and understanding. When somebody tried to come and say some words that set me on a straight and narrow path, I wasn't attaining unto that counsel. I wasn't trying to hear that because I was a fool. But it wasn't until I came to the Lord, start fearing the Lord, that I could see and have better discernment and get that knowledge. And with that, I pass.
All right, Con, let me get in there real quick, man. All right, so hold up. All right, Con, right? Because what we talking about right now is counseling, man. Right? The Most High has set up men to give counsel. The Most High has put men in certain lots so they can take care of the nation of Israel, man. Right? So one thing we got to do is find out who's good on what and what. If find a man who's good with counseling, right, and then give ear unto that man. Right? I'm gonna start off right here. I'm gonna get the book of 2 Samuel, chapter 16 and verse 23. It says what? And the counsel of Ahithophel, which he counseled in those days, was as if a man had inquired at the oracle of Yahweh. So was all the counsel of Ahithophel, both with David and with Absalom. Hey, the Lord said, this man, right, Ahithophel, his counseling was so good. It was like he was talking to an oracle of the Most High God, man. It's like you talking to Elijah. It was like him talking to damn Isaiah, Jeremiah, man. Right, men who was given multitude of wisdom, knowledge, and understanding by the Heavenly Father, man. Right, so you got to kind of consider those things, man. Right, because the Most High, that's a blessing the Most High has put upon our people, man. He gave us wisdom, knowledge, and understanding to give counsel that can end up saving our people, man. Right. Salaki, let me get this account with King Solomon, man. This should be the book of 2 Kings. No, 1 Kings, Salah. Right. Right. 1 Kings chapter 12. Right. Is it 12? Okay, Khan, Salaki. This is the book of 1 Kings chapter 12 and verse this is going into Rehoboam, which is Solomon's son. Right? Let's see what this says. This is the book of 1 Kings chapter 12, and I'm starting at verse 3. Right? That they sent and called him, and Jeroboam and all the congregation of Israel came to speak unto Rehoboam, saying, Thy father made our yoke grievous. Now therefore thou the grievous service of thy father and his heavy yoke, which he put upon us lighter, and we will serve thee. And he said unto them, Depart ye for 3 days, then come again to me. And the people departed. Right? And King Rehoboam consulted with the old men that stood before Solomon his father while he was yet alive, and said, How do ye advise that I may answer this people? Hey, so even King Solomon, right, the wisest man in the scriptures, had men standing before him to give him counsel, to give him to bounce ideas off of, man. Right? And that's a blessing right there, man. The wisest man on earth, he said that he needs counsel, man. Right? And nobody has that wisdom, knowledge, and understanding like King Solomon do. So therefore, you know what I'm saying? Everybody should be looking for that counsel. The scripture say have one counselor among 1,000, man. Right? But you know, I'm gonna pass it to the next brother.
Con. I'm gonna kick it off with the classic, right? Just to touch on it, grab a few witnesses. The book of Psalms, chapter 1, right, and verse number 1. And it reads, Salaki, Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful, but his delight is in the law of the Lord, and his law doth he meditate day and night. Right? So it says, blessed is the man that walk not in the counsel of those who are not walking righteously. Meaning what? Hey, who's he walking in the counsel in? Those that are righteous, right? And understanding that that counsel comes from the Heavenly Father, right? So ultimately, right, we say this all the time. That's I'm gonna grab it real fast in the book of Luke, chapter 1, and verse number 70. As he spake by the mouth of his holy prophets, which have been since the world began. Ultimately, we know that the Heavenly Father speaks, right, by through men, right? So the Lord can give you counsel on a matter, right, through a mere mortal man, right? So adhering to counsel, right, and giving that counsel, right, is what helps strengthen and bring your brethren up in His truth. It's what helps you be able to help a brother endure, right, endure in this in the afflictions that we face week in and week out, going through this truth. Because in the book of Sirach, the 2nd chapter, it tells you that when you come to serve the Lord, right, you have to prepare yourself for temptation, man. Right? One of the cheapest ways to prepare yourself for temptation is what? Hey, being in amongst men of understanding that can give you counsel, right? And if you're a man of understanding, right, giving counsel unto those who you know, right, were similar to you. You may be 3 or 4 years into the truth, right? And there's a brother that's just now coming into the truth. Hey, the Heavenly Father literally wants you to be able to counsel that brother, right, and do the things that it took to strengthen yourself up, right, so that you can build that brother up, right? Understanding that the counsel that you give unto a man can literally bring him up, or the counsel that you don't give to him can literally crush him, right? This is the book of Psalms, chapter 19, right? It's a lot. Where is it? Damn, I forgot that precept. Salaki, I'm gonna go to the book of Sirach. All right, let me get the book of Sirach, chapter 7, and verse number 33. Right, it says, "Stand in the multitude." Salat, verse 33. If thou love to hear, thou shalt receive understanding, and if thou bow thine ear, thou shalt be wise. Verse number, I'm gonna drop down to verse number 36. If thou seest a man of understanding, get thee betimes unto him, and let thy foot wear the steps of his door. Right. So and these scriptures are flip side, right? Because what the men of understanding are in the scriptures, right? And you have the counsel given unto that person that needs the man of understanding, right? You have to be one of the two, right? Or both, right? You have to be a man of understanding in matters that you're able to counsel in, right? And give brothers understanding on things that they may be dealing with, that the Lord has strengthened you in. And on the flip side of that, you also have to be that brother that's wearing out the footsteps of a man of understanding. Because the only way you'll become a man of understanding is by wearing out the door, Salakia, wearing out the door of that man of understanding, right? And through him counseling you and giving you insight on matters, right? In the future, you'll be able to counsel other brothers in the same type of matters. You'll be able to take that same understanding that was brought unto you and be able to apply it unto a brother that can use that counsel, right? With that, I yield.
Right, it's the book of First Kings, right, chapter 1, and I'm gonna start at verse number 9. And Adonijah slew sheep and oxen and fat cattle by the sons of Zoleth, which is in Rago, and called all his brethren the king's sons, and all the men of Judah the king's servants. But Nathan the prophet and Benaniah the mighty men, and Solomon his brother he called not. Wherefore Nathan spoke unto Bathsheba the mother of Solomon, saying, Hast thou not heard that Adonijah the son of Haggith doth reign, and David our Lord knoweth it not? Now therefore, come, let me, I pray thee, give thee counsel, that thou mayest save thy own life and the life of thy son Solomon. Right? So literally, the counsel that you give somebody can literally save their life. Right? The counsel that you give your brother or your sister can literally save their life. Right? Those wise words can literally preserve the wrath, man, that the Father may bring down upon somebody because they may be about to do something foolish. And you can literally save them from doing such a thing, right? Let me get an account real quick to tie into that. Let's go to what do I want? First Samuel, man. Right? First Samuel, I believe I want chapter 30. Right? So like yeah, bear with me. This is the book, right, of First Samuel chapter 25, right, and verse number 32. And David said unto Abigail, Blessed be Yahweh, power of Israel, which sent thee this day to meet me, and blessed be thy advice, and blessed be thou, which hast kept me this day from coming to shed blood and from avenging myself with my own hand. Right? So literally, the advice given to David, the counsel given to David by Abigail, literally saved him from avenging and shedding blood. Literally, right? Which helped him to remain pure in the sight of the Most High. Because the blood he was going to shed, the Lord was going to avenge him of that blood. He didn't need to do that. Right? It wasn't, the man didn't commit an actual sin unto death. Right? The Lord was going to handle that for David. And David needed counsel because he was in his wrath to actually know that and to step down. Because Abigail was a woman of understanding and she knew David was a wise man as well, she brought him wise counsel out of love. And that's the same thing that you got to do with your people. You got to bring them wise counsel out of love. If you love your neighbor, you can't allow them to continue to go off. You can't see that they're about to go off and not counsel them on the matter. You can't see that their spirit is low and not counsel them on the matter. Different matters cause for different types of counsel, but part of loving your neighbor is giving that counsel, right? So let's read on. 1 Kings chapter 1 and verse 12 again. Now therefore come, let me, I pray thee, give thee counsel, that thou mayest save thy own life and the life of thy son Solomon. And go get thee unto King David and say unto him, Didst thou not, my lord, O king, swear unto thy handmaid, saying, Assuredly Solomon thy son shall reign after me, and he shall sit upon my throne when then doeth Adonijah reign. Right? So through the counsel, right, of Nathan the prophet, the Lord's word was fulfilled of Solomon reigning. If Nathan would have never went to counsel Bathsheba, then literally Adonijah would have began to reign because David was old. He didn't know what the hell was going on. Adonijah would have gathered everybody together and would have started a riot, and he would have reigned, right? But literally because of the counsel of Nathan going to Bathsheba, telling her what she needs to do, and her going to go do that, right? David was able to be aware of what was going on and was able to set Solomon on that throne, right? Which was a necessity. So that's literally through the counsel. This is how important counsel actually is. It's how important it is not to keep your mouth closed and a time to speak when you have a time to let your people know what the Lord expects of them or what the Lord needs from them, right? Let me grab one more. All right, let's go to the book, right, of Acts. It's the book of Acts, chapter 21 and verse. So like, is that what I want? Yeah. It's the book of Acts 21 verse 18. And the day following, Paul went in with us unto James, and all the elders were present. And when he had saluted them, he declared particularly what things the Most High had wrought among the Gentiles in his ministry. And when they heard it, they glorified the Most High and said unto him, Thou seest, brother, how many thousands of Jews there are which believe and are zealous of the law. And they are informed of thee, that thou teachest all the Jews which are among the Gentiles to forsake Moses, saying that thou ought not to circumcise their children, neither to walk after the customs. What is it, therefore? The multitude must need come together, for they will hear that thou art come. Do therefore this, that we may see to thee. We have 4 men which have a vow on them. Them take and purify thyself with them, and be at charges with them, that they may shave their heads, and all may know that those things whereof they were informed of concerning thee are nothing but that thou thyself walkest orderly and keepest the law. Right? So this is literally the elders counseling Paul and letting him know a wise thing that he should do, because people are being misinformed. And they're believing that you're saying to teach against the law. And the elders are counseling Paul, saying, hey, man, this is what we want you to do. Take a Nazarite vow with these men that brothers know for a fact there's no way Paul could be teaching this against the law. He's a Nazarite, which was wise counsel, because Paul was hard to be perceived. He was like a doctor, and he speaks in doctorial language. So it was real easy to think what Paul, to misunderstand what Paul is saying, as our people do today. They don't understand Paul's letters, because Paul's letters are for people that are learned. Paul's teachings are for people with understanding. And if you don't have understanding, you'll get tripped up. So they told Paul in their counsel, hey, go ahead and take a vow so there's no misconceptions, man. Right? That's love. They could allow Paul to continue to be misconceived, man. Right? And with that, I yield past to the next brother.
All right, Con. I'm gonna start off at 1 Samuel 15. I'm gonna read down on it or whatnot, but yeah, I'll just start from the top. It says, Samuel also said unto Saul, the Lord sent me to anoint thee to be king over his people, over Israel. Now therefore hearken thou unto the voice of the words of the Lord. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, I remember that which Amalek did to Israel, how he laid wait for him in the way when he came up from Egypt. So let me just make this disclaimer though real quick. So ultimately, Samuel came to Saul, you know what I'm saying, to give him a commandment of the Lord. So it's a commandment of the Lord, but it's counsel by way of man, by way of a judge or a prophet, to let him know what he should do. Because it's like, you know, it's always a flip side with everything with the Lord. You know what I'm saying? You do what I say, just like when we go through the curses and all that, the blessings and the cursing. You do what I say, this gonna happen. You don't do what I say, this gonna happen. So when Samuel trying to tell him what the Lord said, it'll be wise of you to hearken. You know what I'm saying? It'll be wise to take this counsel that I'm giving you. Otherwise, you know, you may see your demise. But let me keep going. I stopped at verse 3. It says, now go and smite Amalek and utterly destroy all that they have and spare them not, but slay both man and woman, infant and suckling, ox and sheep, camel and ass. And Saul gathered the people together and numbered them in Telaim, 200,000 footmen and 10,000 men of Judah. And Saul came to a city of Amalek and laid wait in the valley. And Saul said unto the Kenites, go, depart, get you down from among the Amalekites, lest I destroy you with them. For you shewed kindness to all the children of Israel when they came up out of Egypt. So the Kenites departed from among the Amalekites. And Saul smote the Amalekites from Havilah until thou comest to Shur, that is over against Egypt. And he took Agag, the king of the Amalekites, alive, and utterly destroyed all the people with the edge of the sword. But Saul and the people spared Agag, and the best of the sheep, and of the oxen, and of the fatlings, and the lambs, and all that was good, and would not utterly destroy them. So apparently they didn't hearken unto what was told them, the commandment of the Lord and the wise counsel that was coming from Samuel to be able to, you know, tell him how he should proceed. Where I stopped. But everything that was vowed and refused, that they destroyed utterly. Then came the word of the Lord unto Samuel, saying, it repenteth me that I have set up Saul to be king, for he has turned back from following me, and hath not performed my commandments. So like I said, it's a commandment of the Lord. And it grieved Samuel, and he cried unto the Lord all night. Now I'm going to jump down. Verse 16 says, then Samuel said unto Saul, stay, and I will tell thee what the Lord hath said to me this night. And he said unto him, say on. And Samuel said, when thou wast little in thine own sight, wast thou not made the head of the tribes of Israel? And the Lord anointed thee king over Israel. And the Lord sent thee on a journey and said, go and utterly destroy the sinners, the Amalekites, and fight against them until they have been consumed. Wherefore then didst thou not obey the voice of the Lord, but didst fly upon the spoil, and didst evil in the sight of the Lord. And Saul said unto Samuel, Yea, I have obeyed the voice of the Lord, and have gone the way which the Lord sent me, and have brought Agag, the king of Amalek, and have utterly destroyed the Amalekites. So I'm gonna just jump down because he's sitting up there trying to, lie. He's trying to swindle his way like the Lord don't see everything. You know what I'm saying? So let me see. I'll go with 22. So it says, and Samuel said, hath the Lord as great delight in burnt offerings and sacrifices as in obeying the voice of the Lord? Behold, to obey is better than sacrifice, and to hearken than the fat of rams. For rebellion is as the sin of witchcraft, and stubbornness is as iniquity and idolatry. Because thou hast rejected the word of the Lord, he hath also rejected thee from being king. And Saul said unto Samuel, I have sinned, for I have transgressed the commandment of the Lord and thy words, because I feared the people and obeyed their voice. So now he coming back and doubling back and telling the truth. Like, yeah, okay, he tried to make light of the situation. Like, I did do what he said, but apparently he didn't hearken to the counsel of Samuel. So, it's a flip side of that. So let me see. All right, 25, that's where I left off. He said, now therefore I pray thee, pardon my sin, and turn again with me, that I may worship the Lord. And Samuel said unto Saul, I will not return with thee, for thou hast rejected the word of the Lord, and the Lord hath rejected thee from being king over Israel. So for not, obtaining to that counsel of man, you know what I'm saying, or the commandment of the Lord, you know what I'm saying, the Lord rejected him from being king over Israel, and going forth, he waxed worse and worse and worse until, the throne was ended up given to David. But since I read down on that pretty far, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna go ahead and pass it. I mean, I got some more precepts, but Potter, you got it.
Salakia. All right, Salakia. Let me get in there. All right, let me fix this first. All right, All right, I'm gonna talk about the brother Job, man, real quick, man. Before I do that, I'm gonna get this precept in the book of Sirach, though. This is Sirach, right? Chapter 6. Salakia, let me get back to it. Sirach, chapter 6 and verse 35. It says what? No, I'm gonna start at verse 33. If thou love to hear, thou shalt receive understanding, and if thou bow thine ear, thou shalt be wise. Stand in the multitude of the elders, and cleave unto him that is wise. Be willing to hear every godly discord, and let not parables of understanding escape thee. And if thou seest a man of understanding, give thee betimes unto him, and let thy foot wear the steps of his door. Hey, the Lord said, if you find a wise man, let your feet wear out his footsteps, wear out the doors of his step, man. That means what? You need to be continuously at that man's door, asking them questions. Don't let nothing escape you, man. If you hear him say something, hey, ask him to break it down, or go into depth about it, or like tell me what you mean, man. There's been several times we've been at camp and brothers will use words that I don't understand, and I say, hey, what does that mean? Like, can you give me a definition for it? You know what I'm saying? Hey, you will be a fool to be around a whole bunch of wise men, right? And you over there walking around. They're over there talking about something wise, something about the scriptures, and you just like this all day. Got your hands in your ears and you just minding your own business, man. You're not even considering what's going on, man. Right? You will be a fool to do that, man. Yeah, you're supposed to give ear unto these things and focus on everything that's being spoken, man. Because they might tell you something or say something that has to deal with salvation. And then here you are, they're going into salvation, giving each other wise counsel, and you're not hearing it, man. And that's why people used to go to the barbershops, man. You know how you see in all those movies, people are at the barbershop, you got the old men, they sitting in there and they talking, they joking, and they dropping knowledge, man. Right? Only little kids would be in there acting like nothing's going wrong. They ain't sitting down in that chair swinging their feet, la 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 la, not knowing what's going on, man. Right? You got to pay attention to everything around you and hearken unto a man with wise counsel, man. And that's why I mentioned the brother Job. Right? Let's get this real quick. In the book of Job, chapter 29 and verse 1, it says, moreover, Job continued his parable and said, oh, that I were in months past, as in the days when Yahweh preserved me, when his candles shine upon my head, and when by the light I walk through darkness. 2 Job 29 and verse 1. 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 2 Job 29 and And as I was in the days of my youth, when the secrets of Yahweh was upon my tabernacle, man. Right? So he's saying, hey, let's go back. He's thinking about back in the times where the Most High preserved him, when wisdom, knowledge, and understanding was shining upon him, man. When he used that to navigate his steps through darkness, man. And we're in the land of land of darkness. Is darkness itself, man. In the valley of death, man. Valley of the shadow of death, man. Right? It says, reading on, it says, when the Almighty was yet with me, when my children were about me, when I washed my steps with butter, and the rock poured out rivers of oil. Right? And he's not talking about an actual rock, man. Right? We got to go according to the scripture. He's talking about Yahweh Shai ultimately, man. Yahweh Shai said he was that rock, and that oil is wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. That butter is the word, man. Reading on, it says what? My point. When verse 7, when I went out of the gates through the city, when I prepared my seat in the street, the young men saw me and hid themselves. And the age arose and stood. The princes refrained talking and laid their hands on their mouth. The nobles held their peace, and their tongue cleaved unto the roof of their mouth. Hey, Job said, when I spoke, everybody was quiet and silent, man. Hey, the young men, they will hide from me, man. Because what? He knew that the young men knew that he was going to rebuke them, man. He said the aged men stood up. It means what? They had respect for this man, man. And they were old, and they were younger than him, man. I'm sorry, they were older than him. And they had respect to this man. Because what? He over here he's giving wise counsel. He's walking underneath the umbrella of the Heavenly Father, man. Right? It says what? When the ear heard me, then it blessed me. And when the eye saw me, he gave witness to me. Because I delivered the poor that cried, and the fatherless, and him that had none to help him. The blessing of him that was ready to perish came upon me, and I caused the widow's heart to sing for joy. Hey, Job said, all of these people came unto me, and I did everything I can, man. I gave them wise counsel. If a widow, she came up to me weeping and crying and sorrows, my words turned that around, man. Hey, the fatherless, they came up to me, and they got wisdom and knowledge and understanding and guidance. Right? All through the power of Yahweh Shai. Right? And this is just even further proof in Job, the 4th chapter. It says, Job chapter 4 and verse 1. Then Eliphaz the Temanite answered and said, if we assuage to consume with thee, wilt thou be grieved? But who can withhold himself from speaking? Behold, and he's talking to Job. He says, behold, thou hast instructed many, and thou hast strengthened the weak hands. That's what Job was doing, instructing the many. Those who are weak, ready to fall, ready to be destroyed. Hey, Job strengthened them. Right? It says what? Thy words was upholding him that was fallen, and thou hast strengthened the feeble knees. Hey, Job was strengthening those who are feeble, man, and making them strong again. That means what? People kept coming to Job for counsel, man. Counsel, whether they deal with lively things, whether they deal with physical things, whether they deal with spiritual things, people came to their brother Job, man. That's why he had so much respect, man. All right, so we got to be what? Walking in the ways of our forefathers, counseling your brothers, man. Call your brother just to see what he's on, see what he's going up to, man. You never know. He might confess to you a demon that he's dealing with, man. You can't be afraid to put yourself out there. Because what? You're putting yourself out there not for yourself, but for the betterment of your people. And the Lord will have respect to that. You know what I'm saying? Because the Lord loves us and he wants us to take care of each other, man. But with that, I'm going to yield the passage to the next brother.
All right, Connor. This is the book of First Ezra, chapter 1, right, in verse number 7. So Ezra rose up and said unto them, ye have transgressed the law in marrying strange wives, thereby to increase the sins of Israel. Now, by confessing, give glory unto the Most High, our power, the power of our fathers, and do his will, and separate yourselves from the heathen of the land and from the strange women, right? So he's literally counseling them and letting them know, hey, y'all already went the hell off. I'm going to need y'all to separate yourselves from these people, man, right? That's counsel. That's wise counsel, right? Why? Because this. Let me get this precept real quick. What was going on with those strange women? It wasn't just the fact that they were just marrying strange women, right? It was marrying strange women, and they wasn't doing what was right in the sight of the Lord. Right? It's the book of Nehemiah chapter 13 and verse 23. And it reads, in those days also I saw Jews that had married wives of Ashdod, of Ammon, and of Moab. And the children spake half in the speech of Ashdod, and could not speak in the Jews' language, but according to the language of the people. Right? So the children that they were having, and they wasn't raising those children up in the customs of being Jews. They wasn't raising up speaking the Jews' language. So you know what God they were serving. They obviously wasn't serving Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, and they couldn't even say Yahweh Hashem Yahushua, right? So it would have been wise for him to tell them what? Hey, separate from them, man. You have to separate from them in order to do what? In order to get these transgressions up off of us, where we can now raise up children in righteousness with righteous sisters of our nation, right? So he was once again giving wise counsel, right? So the brother went to Job. Let me get one in Job as well, right? Let's go to the book of Job, right? What I want? Job, I believe I want 31, 32. Let me see. All right, so the book of Job, chapter, let's see. Right, this is the book of Job, chapter 32, and verse number 6. And Elihu, the son of Bacharel, the Buzite, answered and said, I am young, and ye are very old, wherefore I was afraid and durst not show you my opinion. I said, days should speak, and multitude of years should teach wisdom. But there is a spirit in man, and the inspiration of the Almighty giveth them understanding. So never mind if you're younger than your elder. You can still counsel your elder. It says this, I'm reading it again. But there is a spirit in man, and the inspiration of the Almighty giveth them understanding. So it doesn't matter if you're damn 20 and your elder is 55. You got a spirit in you from the inspiration of the Almighty where you're still able to give wise counsel unto your elders, man. You're still able to do so, right? So your age doesn't make a difference on if your ability to counsel. Now, certain matters, you do have to know something about life and have lived through certain things to counsel a man on a certain matter, right? You've never been married before. You're 20 years old. You're living in your mama's basement, cracking your toes. And you ain't got no business counseling a man on his 15-year-old marriage. No business doing that. But it doesn't mean that you can't give wise counsel on another matter, right? And it says what? Great men not always wise, neither do age understand judgment. Therefore I said, hearken to me, I also will show my opinion, right? So he's saying hearken, meaning what? Hey, I'm about to give counsel. Listen unto this counsel I'm going to give you, right? And he loved these brothers. He loved Job. He sat with them quietly for days. And you got to love somebody to kind of sit there quietly with men, just not saying a word, just kind of sitting there, observing everything they're saying, soaking everything in, man. Then finally, when the spirit hits you, now I'm going to speak wisely unto you. Now I'm going to give you wise counsel on the matter. Hey, now hearken unto me. I sat peacefully. I listened. Hey, I suffered with you, man, right? And now I want to give you counsel on the matter. And that's the order it should work sometimes. Sometimes, hey, you may just got to suffer with a brother for a while, man. You can't go right to the precepts all the time. Sometimes before you give that counsel, the brother just wants to damn vent to you. Let the brother vent for a few minutes, man. Let the sister vent for a few minutes, maybe a day, and then you all, hey, all right, sister, all right, brother, I definitely, I'm with you, and I suffer with you a few days, and I just want to, bring out a couple of precepts on the matter, or just let me give you my opinion on the matter. But if you hop right to a counsel sometimes, but like, damn, you don't even care about what I said. Hey, you ain't even listen to what I'm going through, man. You're just telling me something automatically. So sometimes, like the brother Elihu did, you got to kind of suffer with him for a period of time to show that you actually care. And then, hey, listen to my words, man. Hearken unto my wisdom, right? That's understanding and loving your people, man. Not just automatic. Let me get a precept. You listen to a word that they say, and as soon as they got a trigger word, oh, there's a precept for that word. I know. And you kind of pulling up the damn word for the precept, man. That's not wise counsel, man. Right? Counseling starts with sitting and listening to your people first and what they're going through, right? In certain matters, should I say, right? That's the way we actually got to make sure that we're moving. That's the way to show your neighbor that you love them, right? And with that, I'm going to pass to the next brother.
Khan. That's right, King, because it's like when you go to a psychiatrist, they can't possibly diagnose what the matter is unless they hear everything that you have to say. Then at the end of it, they'll, give you some words, whether it be of wisdom, encouragement, or whatever, to try to, get you through what you're going through. You got to hear the whole matter. You know what I'm saying? And but I'm gonna go to Proverbs. Go to Proverbs 19 and verse 20. It says, "Hear counsel and receive instruction." Because a lot of people, you know what I'm saying, even after, they spew out everything, they have a pride issue. They have a problem with receiving reproof or rebuke. They just kind of want you to tell them, yeah, you're right. Or, I feel that type stuff, you know what I'm saying? Like, but as soon as you come at them with something adverse to their whole mindset or they train of thought, it's like, I ain't trying to hear that. You know what I'm saying? Like, nah, it's my way or the highway. Like, no, you wrong, all that type of stuff. Nah, it says, hear counsel and receive instruction that thou mayest be wise and not latter end. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what it's ultimately going to do. You know what I'm saying? This wisdom is going to make things go well with you in your latter end. If it's the wisdom of this book, then you will potentially obtain the kingdom. You know what I'm saying? Which will be going well with you in your latter end. 21. There are many devices in a man's heart. Nevertheless, the counsel of the Lord that shall stand. So, I mean, that's going with them people that's leaning on their vain opinion and kind of what I was just talking about. None of that matters. It's just the counsel of the Lord that's going to stand. Either you hearken unto the Lord and get that's what's coming to you good in your latter end, or, you already know. You already know what's going to go on. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going to jump down to verse 27. And it says, "Cease, my son, to hear the instruction that causeth to err from the words of knowledge." And I mean, this book is the word of knowledge. You can't attain counsel. You can't get counsel from somebody that's wicked. You know what I'm saying? You talking about, I need this money instead of, you know what I'm saying, trying to apply for a job or whatever and pray unto the Lord for things to go well with you. They telling you, let's go rob this bank. You know what I'm saying? Look, I got a plug on them bowls. You know what I'm talking about? Like we can get down with, like, no, you listen to people, like that. It's causing you to err from the ways of the Lord. Because what does it say right here in Sirach? This is Sirach 19 and 22. And it says, "The knowledge of wickedness is not wisdom, neither at any time the counsel of sinners prudence." You can't listen to counsel from wicked individuals. You know what I'm saying? And then a lot of people, that's the problem. You know what I'm saying? When you in this truth or in this walk, this righteous walk or whatnot, and then you got people that's your partner, your ace, whatever, your day ones or whatever that you just don't want to let go. If they're in the world and they're not walking with you, then what? They're gonna be giving you this wicked counsel. What is it saying? Amos 3 and 3. Can two walk together unless they be agreed? Y'all got to be agreed on the mindset of the Lord and walking in wisdom. If you yoke to this type of individual, 9 times out of 10, they're gonna get you to go off. You know what I'm saying? Little by little. You know what I'm saying? Like there's some people that are strong and they can be around individuals. They're very built up in the Lord. And they can, I'm not saying on a day-to-day basis they can be around these individuals, but it's like they're not letting that stuff rub off on them. You know what I'm saying? If anything, they're trying to, provoke that person into righteous works rather than listen to what the hell they talking about. But not everybody's that strong. You know what I'm saying? So you do have to attain to counsels of people that are like-minded, you know what I'm saying, in this word, you know what I'm saying, not in folly or wickedness. So I got one more for our passage. This is Proverbs 12 and 15. And it's going into what I was just literally saying. The way of a fool is right in his own eyes. That's them people leaning on their own vain opinion. You know what I'm saying? Or when I gave that account earlier to where I was talking about, like, I wasn't trying to hear nothing nobody was talking about. And two, I got the fear of the Lord and start, getting that wisdom and that knowledge added unto me to be able to decipher whether they was giving me wise counsel or not. Because I just wanted to be engulfed for my BS, for lack of better words. But it says, the way of a fool is right in his own eyes, but he that hearkeneth unto counsel is wise. So with that I brought out, you individualize and people like that don't want to deal with other brothers, y'all got to look at that. Y'all got to examine that, because y'all don't want counsel. Y'all don't want reproof. You think you got it. Or, I'm going to just be able to get this knowledge and this wisdom by myself. You know what I'm saying? A wise counsel is basically the way to go. And with that, I'll pass.
Con, can brothers hear me? All right, Con. Right. This is the book of Sirach, right? Salaki. Let me get there real quick. Sirach. Sirach chapter 32 and verse 18. It says what? A man of counsel will be considerate, but a strange and proud man is not daunted with fear, even when of himself he hath done without counsel. Hey, the brother just said, hey, when he had no fear, he wasn't listening to nobody's counsel. Now that he's got that fear, hey, he's listening to counsel, man. And he's doing everything with counsel. It says what? Verse 19, do nothing without advice. And when thou hast once done, repent not. And the Lord said, you got to get advice when you're going through this walk, man. You got to get advice when you're going through your everyday life, man. And he says, once you do something, repent not, man. That doesn't mean go to the damn, you're over here dealing with a lust demon, and you go talk to your brother about it. He's a whoremonger, man. He over there got 300 bodies plus, man. You're going to go to him for advice. Hey, bro, I've been dealing with a lust demon. I don't know what to do. Hey, man, he has a lust demon on him, man. Right? You don't want to go to somebody who's walking in this world and ask them for advice, man. If you're going to get advice, get it from a godly man. One that, godly man or woman, one that fear the Most High God. Because in that case, what? You know that they're not going to lead you astray, man. They're going to give you good advice, and it's going to be out of the sincerity of their heart, man. They want to see you prosper. They're tired of seeing our people at the bottom, man, in the slums and the ghettos. They're tired of seeing our people being killed on a phenomenal rate, man. And they're not going to contribute to the downfall of their people, man. You got to examine the people you're getting your counsel from, right? You over here dealing with a dang weed demon on you, right? You got that urge to smoke, and you go get some counsel to a brother. And that brother kind of light a joint right there in front of you. You start blowing the smoke in your face. Well, bro, I don't know what you're gonna do. Hey, that's wicked, man. You gotta be mindful of the people you seek advice from, man. And you want to find a man or a woman that's qualified to give that advice, right? Don't just go talk to your mom about advice. Your mom is a businesswoman. And you're gonna go talk to her about a damn your situation with your woman, man. Right? One, you really shouldn't be doing that. Two, she's gonna treat it like a business, bro. And it's just not at all wise at all, man. Right? And don't think that you're too smart or you too good for counsel, man. Right? Hey, the Most High Yahweh gets counsel, man, at times. Right? So he doesn't even do things without counsel. Right? And here's the proof. This is 1 Kings chapter 22 and verse 19. And he said, hear thou therefore the word of the Lord. I saw Yahweh sitting on his throne, and all the hosts of heaven standing on his right hand and on his left. So here you got an image of the Most High on the throne. And you got all the angels on the left and on the right hand standing before him, man. And it says what? And the Lord said, who shall persuade Ahab that he may go up and fall at Ramoth Gilead? And the one said on this manner, and another said on that manner. And here you go, you got the spirits, the angels, right, giving their advice. Well, I can do it, Lord. Well, Lord, we should do it this way. Well, Lord, we should do it this way. And he's hearing everything, man. And he's considering it all. Now, of course, he's the Heavenly Father. He knows what he wants to do. But he's doing things how he wants to happen, when and where he wants it to happen. Right? It says what? And there came forth a spirit and stood before the Lord and said, I will persuade him. And the Lord said unto him, wherewith? And he said, I will go forth, and I will be a lying spirit in the mouth of all his prophets. And he said, thou shalt persuade him and prevail also, go forth and do so. Now therefore, behold, the Lord hath put a lying spirit in the mouth of all these prophets, all thy prophets, and the Lord hath spoken evil concerning thee. Hey, the Lord took counsel. And once the Lord found something that was pleasing unto him on a way to overthrow a man, hey, he put it into action. Right? So, hey, you as a man, you got to take counsel as well. You as a woman, you got to take counsel as well, man. Don't talk to your women of the world. Talk to your sisterhood, the women that are in this truth, man. Hey, same thing with you children, man. You children, don't go talk to your friends in high school, your friends in middle school, man. Because they're only about this world. Talk to people who you know are keeping all our statutes commandments. Hey, talk to your big brother who's been telling you, hey, you got to keep the commandments. I know you in high school. I know they're doing this. You got parties. You know, I know there's a lot of girls around and stuff like that, but you can't lust after them. I know that everybody's smoking weed, but you can't do that. That's a sin. Right? Find the people who has the fear of the Lord and then get counsel from them, man. But with that, that's all I got to say. I'll pass it to the next brother.
All right, so with that, that's going to conclude the Shabbat service for this week. You know what I'm saying? It looked like we're going to only hit one category a week, you know, through the Spirit. But, hey, that's all praise to the Most High. Brothers getting a myriad of precepts on literally these different categories of how to love your neighbor. So brothers got to look at these precepts and these accounts and start applying them. Because our main focus now is the application of the scriptures, not the knowing of the precepts. The looking at the accounts and applying them to your life, right? That's how we're going to change. Hey, the word can't wash you clean just because you know them. The word washes you clean when you start applying them, right? So brothers and sisters got to start looking at these precepts and applying them. That's why we're going into these things, strictly for the application. Go ahead.
Hey, it's a lot. You don't get clean when you in the shower by just looking at the dang soap. You got to apply that thing, man.
Yeah, you got to apply that thing, man. Right? So brothers and sisters, you know, make sure that you getting these precepts and you applying them, man. Adding them to your life, right? That's why we doing this thing, man. So Lord willing, everybody have a beautiful Shabbat. You know what I'm saying? Even though it's going to be rainy out here in Houston, you know what I'm saying? We still going to hold camp, you know what I'm saying? Lord willing, through the Spirit. We don't more than likely going to be out there in front of Frank's Pizza at 4:30 p.m. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna push it back about 30 minutes due to the weather. You know what I'm saying? And we're going to, Lord willing, be out there in front of Frank's Pizza at 4:30 p.m. If we're not in front of the actual pizza shop, then we'll be out there at, across the street at the park. I forgot what that park is called. What's that park called, Jamaica?
What part? What you talking about?
The park across the street from Frank's.
I forgot. I just know it's on Travis Street. Travis and
Market Square Park.
Commerce?
Market Square Park.
Okay, come.
Market Square Park. Yeah, so 4:30 p.m., Lord willing, you know what I'm saying, we'll be out there in front of Frank's Pizza. If we're not directly in front, because we might be directly on like right in front of Frank's. If we're not right in front of Frank's, then we across the street at Market Square Park, Lord willing. If any changes come, look us up on the IG. We'll post it up on the IG, right? Instagram, W5_Houston. All right, so other than that, Shabbat Shalom. Kwam Yashala.
Hey, Kwam Yashala, Shalom.
Kwam Yashala, Shalom.